chosen one. The air around you has shifted. You can feel it even before you step toward the door. There's something different tonight, a quiet pulse in the air, like the universe holding its breath. God is warning you. Someone is waiting at your door. Not every knock is a friend, and not every presence carries light. You've been sensing it for days, that strange unease when you walk past the hallway, that subtle vibration in your chest, as if your spirit already knows what's coming. It's not paranoia. It's perception. The chosen feel what others cannot. They sense the movements of energy before they take form. And right now, the energy outside your door isn't pure. It's testing you. It's watching. It's waiting. You've come too far to let the shadows back in. The one waiting is not always a person. It can be an energy, a familiar spirit, an old temptation disguised as something innocent. God is whispering, "Don't open the door too quickly." The enemy doesn't always come roaring. Sometimes it arrives politely, smiling, pretending to bring peace. You must be vigilant, chosen one. This moment is not random. Every vibration around you tonight is deliberate. Your spiritual sensitivity is your protection. Don't doubt it. When your heartbeat quickens for no reason, when your stomach tightens before you even see a face, that's heaven's alarm ringing. You're not here by accident. You've been guided to this moment. Write 99 in the comments. It's time to release your wish to the universe. Let your spirit breathe through your words. Let your intention rise. If your soul stirred while hearing these words, don't scroll away. Like this video. Subscribe now. You belong here. You were meant to receive this message, meant to be reminded that your awareness is not madness. It's divine alertness. This is your confirmation that what you've been feeling is real. Heaven has been watching the movements around you, and tonight, God said to tell you, be careful who you let in. Be careful what you answer. There's a sacred tension at your doorstep. Some doors are not meant to be opened. Not yet. The chosen ones are often tested through what looks like coincidence. A message, a visitor, a sudden knock. But every test carries revelation. When you stand still instead of rushing to respond, you prove to heaven that your discernment has matured. When you pause and listen to your intuition before answering, you create spiritual armor. Don't feel guilty for protecting your peace. The divine doesn't reward availability. It rewards alignment. You must remember, light attracts everything, both good and dark. Your glow is loud in the spiritual realm. That's why you've been attracting both blessings and watchers. The one waiting at your door may carry curiosity, envy, or assignment, but don't let fear control you. Let awareness guide you. You are not weak. You are being refined. God trusts your judgment enough to let you sense the warning. Every chosen one must learn to separate compassion from foolishness, love from vulnerability. You can still be kind while being cautious. You can still forgive while keeping your boundary firm. The silence tonight has meaning. If your environment suddenly feels heavier, if animals act restless, if objects fall or flicker, don't dismiss it. Your surroundings are responding to unseen energy. Heaven is communicating through subtle signs because it knows you'll notice. Your sensitivity is your gift, not your curse. Someone is waiting at your door, but you don't need to fear them. The awareness itself means you're protected. Those who walk with divine covering are never caught unaware. The test is not in the visitor, it's in your response. Will you open from emotion or wait for confirmation? The difference defines your destiny. This is a spiritual threshold moment. The enemy sends distractions right before breakthroughs. Stay still. Observe. Pray internally without letting your energy leak. Remember, the same God who warned you is also standing beside you. You are not alone in this stillness. Heaven is monitoring every move, timing every protection, preparing every revelation that will follow this encounter. Someone is waiting at your door, but what they don't know is that you already received heaven's alert. The chosen are never truly surprised. They're simply tested in silence before glory unfolds. There's a reason you hesitated before opening that door, chosen one. That pause wasn't fear. It was divine wisdom anchoring you. Heaven knows your spirit vibrates differently now. You're not the same person who used to rush into situations, answer every call, or open your life to every knock. You've learned to listen between the sounds, to feel between the words, to see between the lines. Someone is waiting at your door, but God says, wait. Not everything that arrives at your doorstep deserves entry. Some presences come to test your peace, not to share it. The moment you sense heaviness, confusion, or sudden anxiety, understand, that's your spirit reading what your eyes can't see. You've walked through storms that have sharpened your intuition. Your energy field has become a living radar, detecting what's genuine and what's masked. When you walk closer to your purpose, spiritual interference increases. It's not a punishment. It's a sign you're close to something sacred. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the louder the distractions become. Someone is waiting your door because your light disturbed their shadow. It's not about you doing something wrong. It's about you doing something right. The enemy is nervous because your silence has become powerful. You're not here by accident. You've been guided to this moment. Write 99 in the comments. It's time to release your wish to the universe. Let the heavens record your intention. Let your faith echo through your words. If your spirit woke up while listening, don't scroll away. Like this video. Subscribe now. You belong here. Your presence in this space is alignment, not coincidence. You're surrounded by others who have been through the same silent battles, who understand what it means to feel watched, to feel tested, to feel chosen. Tonight, as you write your wish and 99, you're declaring that you choose divine timing over fear. The waiting presence outside your door represents the energy of unfinished cycles, things trying to reattach because they know you've grown. But what's behind that door can no longer meet you where you are. The chosen one's evolution disturbs old energies. It reminds them of what they could have been if they had listened to. Sometimes, someone waiting is an old habit dressed as comfort, or a familiar face carrying yesterday's vibration. Don't open the door just to feel less alone. Solitude with God is safer than company without purpose. You've entered a stage where discernment will save your destiny. The knock on your door might sound harmless, but what enters your space alters your frequency. Spiritual maturity means understanding that not every approach deserves access. When God said, "Be careful," He wasn't planting fear, He was gifting foresight. The divine doesn't warn the weak. It warns the strong, the ones worth protecting. Your awareness right now is your shield. You are being trained in spiritual intelligence, not paranoia. When energy comes disguised as opportunity, ask yourself, does it bring peace or pressure? The door is symbolic. Chosen one. It's your boundary. What you open determines what you allow to feed your spirit. Protect that door as you would your breath. Whoever or whatever is waiting outside carries an intention, good or bad, but the moment you stop acting on impulse, you disarm their power. Heaven's command is simple. Observe before responding. Listen to the tone, feel the air, trust the silence. The chosen never need to rush. They move when heaven moves. You must understand how valuable your presence has become. The reason people linger near your energy, the reason some seem to watch you quietly, is because divine favor leaves a scent. You can't hide it even when you try. People who walk in darkness are drawn to it without knowing why. But light doesn't need to apologize for shining. Let them wait. Let them wonder. You owe no explanation for your protection. The one waiting your door might not realize. They're standing at a threshold guarded by angels. Every heartbeat of yours is surrounded by divine surveillance. You are not just protected, you are preserved. The night feels heavier than usual, doesn't it, chosen one? The wind whispers differently. The silence hums with unseen motion. It's not just the air, it's the energy shifting around you. Someone is waiting your door, but more than that, something is trying to enter your atmosphere. God said, "Be careful," because the enemy has realized how close you are to your next level. The closer you get to your divine transition, the more desperate the shadows become. They linger near your threshold, hoping you'll forget who you are and open the door out of habit. But habits are how the old world sneaks back in. You've learned too much to let that happen. You can almost feel it, the pull, the subtle emotional trap that whispers, maybe it's harmless. But you know better now. Your discernment has matured through pain. You used to think being cautious meant being cold. Now you understand it means being wise. God's message isn't about isolation. It's about elevation. He removes certain energies from your space, not to make you lonely, but to make you ready. Someone is waiting at your door because your light announced your arrival to a spiritual realm that listens. When chosen ones ascend, the unseen world stirs. You are triggering ancient energies, both divine and deceptive. Think back to every time you ignored your gut feeling. The consequence wasn't punishment. It was a reminder. You were never wrong for feeling uneasy. The world calls it overthinking, but heaven calls it spiritual intelligence. Right now, that same gift is warning you again. Pause. Before opening any door, physical or emotional, ask if peace stands behind it. If the answer feels delayed or heavy, that's your sign to wait. Not everything that knocks is meant to enter. God watches your response more than your fear. Will you trust the silence as guidance, or will you mistake stillness for emptiness? The chosen often feel the pressure of waiting because their timeline is sacred. When you delay a reaction, you give heaven time to rearrange what's unseen. That's why this waiting moment matters. It's protection disguised as patience. Whoever or whatever stands at your door is not just a person, it's a test. You've been through enough betrayals to know that not every "I miss you" means love, and not every "I want to talk" means peace. Some knocks echo with old wounds, disguised as closure. But closure doesn't always come from conversation. Sometimes it comes from silence. The enemy knows your compassion, chosen one. It's your greatest strength and your easiest doorway to attack. That's why God is saying, guard it. You can love deeply and still lock your door. You can forgive completely and still protect your space. Understand this truth. Light draws everything near. Just as moths chase fire, lost souls chase those who carry divine energy. They want warmth, not responsibility. They want to feel your peace without earning it. But you've been drained before, haven't you? You've opened your door too early and watched your energy fade while others walked away fuller. This time, you're different. The chosen who learn discernment become unshakable. The waiting figure at your door represents every distraction heaven told you to outgrow. Don't invite it in. Watch it fade on its own. There's a shift in your atmosphere tonight. You might not see the change, but heaven does. Your boundaries are echoing in the spiritual realm as declarations of strength. Every time you say no to what once drained you, the angels mark it as growth. Every time you choose silence over reaction, the divine writes "ready" next to your name. That's why you're being tested again. It's heaven's final confirmation that your soul has matured. The one waiting your door might think they're in control, but they're only playing a part in your awakening. They've come to confirm your strength, not break it. Chosen one, don't let curiosity open the door that discernment locked. You are walking in divine timing now. The sound of knocking may grow louder. The temptation may rise. But remember, some doors once opened take years to close again. Tonight, you have a choice. Stay still and ascend, or answer and repeat. Heaven is watching to see if you've learned that the safest yes is often a holy no. The knocking hasn't stopped, has it, chosen one? It echoes through your chest more than your walls. It's not the sound itself, it's what it carries. The energy of the one waiting at your door feels familiar, almost magnetic, as if it's trying to pull you back into an older version of yourself. But God said, be careful for a reason. The divine doesn't repeat warnings without purpose. Something, or someone, has sensed your transformation, and it's stirring in discomfort. Your light has become too bright to ignore. Those who once overlooked you are now drawn again, not out of love, but curiosity. The same curiosity that made them doubt you before now makes them want to see what changed. But what's standing outside doesn't seek peace. It seeks access. You've reached a level where your silence threatens those who used to feed on your reactions. That's why they wait. That's why they linger. They want to see if the door that once opened easily still responds to their presence. They want to know if your spirit still bends under pressure. But you've evolved beyond recognition. The version of you they remember no longer lives here. You've buried the people-pleaser, the apologizer, the one who ignored their own intuition for the comfort of others. What remains is truth wrapped in divine armor, and truth doesn't answer every knock. Truth doesn't explain itself to confusion. Truth stands still, knowing the right ones will never need permission to enter. They'll carry the same frequency as peace. You've become so spiritually aligned that even your stillness has authority. Heaven trusts your restraint because restraint is mastery. When God warns His chosen, it's never about fear, it's about strategy. This waiting figure is a lesson disguised as a visitor. Your response determines whether this cycle repeats or ends. Remember when God first began teaching you discernment? Back then, it hurt. Every no felt like loneliness. Every silence felt like rejection. But now you understand. It was redirection. He was showing you that safety isn't found in numbers. It's found in alignment. The door symbolizes your boundary between what serves your growth and what serves your destruction. The moment you open that door emotionally or spiritually, you give permission for energy exchange. That's why this test feels so intense. It's happening on the threshold of destiny. The chosen never face casual moments. Every decision holds eternal weight. When heaven elevates you, hell sends distractions dressed as closure, opportunity, or kindness. The one waiting your door might sound calm, familiar, or even gentle, but that's how deception moves, smooth, polite, and persistent. It's not here to break in, it's here to convince you to open willingly. The most dangerous enemies are not the ones who knock loudly, they're the ones who whisper, "It's safe." But your spirit knows better. You've grown too aware to fall for repetition. You've learned that the same energies will circle back when they sense your breakthrough approaching. Don't misinterpret the timing. This isn't random. The closer your blessing gets, the more the past tries to return. The universe doesn't test you to torture you. It tests you to prove you're no longer available for what once broke you. The one waiting your door is proof of your progress. The enemy wouldn't bother if you weren't glowing. Chosen one, this is your moment to stand firm in spiritual maturity. Don't explain. Don't defend. Don't justify your silence. Let your stillness be your sermon. When you refuse to engage, heaven amplifies your strength. Every second you stay silent, the force is watching you grow more confused, because darkness can't understand a peace that doesn't flinch. The energy at your door isn't powerful. It's desperate. It's the shadow of what used to control you, knocking one last time to see if you'll open. And in that stillness, God smiles. Because this time, you won't. This time, you'll wait until the knocking fades into nothing. This time, you'll understand that unanswered doors are sometimes the loudest prayers. This is how chosen ones ascend, not by confrontation, but by clarity. Your silence tonight will echo louder than any response ever could. The night is deep, chosen one, and the air feels like it's holding its breath. The knocking has faded, but you can still sense the presence. It hasn't left completely. It lingers, unsure, waiting for a weakness, for a moment when your guard slips. You feel it, don't you? That subtle pressure in the atmosphere, that invisible gaze pressing against your walls. This is not imagination. It's energy trying to find entry. You're standing at the threshold between what was and what must be. And heaven is watching to see how you'll move. God said someone is waiting your door, Be careful. He didn't mean panic. He meant awareness. He meant power through stillness. You can almost hear the whisper, "Open." But you won't. Not this time. You've seen what happens when you rush to answer every voice, every call, every opportunity that wasn't sent by divine timing. You felt the drain, the confusion, the emptiness that follows misplaced compassion. Now, you're guided by clarity, not curiosity. The one waiting doesn't understand how much you've changed. They're expecting the old version of you to answer, the one who would open the door just to prove kindness. But the old you is gone. What stands here now is awareness itself. You no longer open doors, you discern them. You've entered a phase where peace is more valuable than explanation. You no longer chase understanding from people who thrive in chaos. You're no longer tempted to unlock your energy for validation. The knocking at your door is symbolic. It's everything from your past testing whether you're truly free. It's the world asking, do you still need to be seen? And your silence answers louder than words ever could. I no longer need to be understood, I just need to be aligned. The chosen ones don't rise through comfort, they rise through confrontation with unseen things. That's why you're feeling spiritual pressure tonight. Heaven allows this so you can witness your own evolution. This isn't punishment, it's revelation. You're seeing in real time that you're no longer who you were. The fear you feel isn't weakness, it's transformation, reshaping your vibration. Every chosen one reaches this moment, when the door becomes the battlefield and silence becomes the sword. What you do now determines the frequency of your next season. God isn't warning you just to protect you. He's revealing how much He trusts you. The message, someone is waiting your door, isn't just about danger. It's about destiny. It means you've become significant enough to attract attention, powerful enough to shift the atmosphere, valuable enough for the unseen to study. That's what happens when chosen ones rise. They become spiritual beacons. Your awareness disturbs what's not aligned. That's why energies hover near you. They can't enter, but they can't look away either. You've become light that exposes intentions. Stillness is not weakness, it's strategy. Heaven doesn't need you to slam the door. It needs you to stand. The one waiting outside your door is learning something too, that you can't manipulate someone who listens to God, that you can't control someone who chooses peace over validation, that you can't approach someone who guards their spirit with silence. You've turned the table without a word. The power has shifted. What once chased you now waits for your reaction. In this quiet, something sacred is unfolding. You're being upgraded spiritually. Every second you resist the urge to open the door, your energy expands, your authority deepens. Heaven celebrates your discernment as proof of growth. The lesson here isn't about who's waiting, it's about who you've become while they waited. And when you realize that, you'll understand. The door isn't your boundary, it's your mirror. It reflects what no longer belongs to you. The moment you choose stillness over engagement, heaven writes a new chapter, and the presence at your door, whatever it is, begins to lose its hold, not because it was defeated, but because you outgrew its reach. The night finally quiets, chosen one. The knocking has stopped, the air has softened, and what once felt like pressure now feels like peace. You didn't open the door, and that silence became your victory. You passed a test that heaven didn't announce but carefully observed. The one waiting your door never had true power. They only had access to your attention. When you withheld that, their influence dissolved. This is how chosen ones win, not by fighting, but by refusing to engage. Your calm became a weapon, your silence a shield. God didn't want you to prove anything. He wanted you to recognize that discernment is your crown. As you stand there, breathing in this stillness, you realize something divine has shifted. The energy outside is gone. The heaviness lifted. What replaced it is something new, authority. You feel it in your spirit, that deep, unshakable peace that says, I'm not who I was. The world tried to pull you into reaction, but you stayed grounded in divine awareness. You didn't let curiosity override intuition or emotion override wisdom. That's growth. That's mastery. That's what God meant when he said, be careful. Not to scare you, but to teach you that protection often looks like restraint. Someone was waiting your door, but they were never truly waiting for you. They were waiting for a version of you that no longer exists. You outgrew the trap. You transcended the test. Heaven closes old doors not to confine you, but to redirect you toward new gates. The enemy hoped to find weakness, but instead found stillness, divine stillness. You've entered the stage where silence carries more power than speech, and discernment speaks louder than confrontation. The night fades into dawn now, and a calm light spills across your threshold. You smile, not because the danger is gone, but because you finally understand it was never meant to harm you. It was meant to reveal your evolution. You didn't just survive the waiting, you mastered it. The presence that lingered outside was the echo of your old frequency, trying one last time to return. But your new energy no longer recognizes it. You are free now, guarded, aware, untouchable. The next time someone waits at your door, heaven itself will answer first.